Hello. I'm coming on here to talk about Lyme disease. Um, this isn't like advocating or nothing like that. Um, I've talked about my story a lot, but honestly, I lost a lot of people, friends and family, due to me talking about it and sharing awareness on it. So this is just going to be more of vlogs, um, so that other people can see what it's like daily to live with chronic Lyme disease. Now, I do want to go ahead and put out the fact that there are many people out there who do not believe in chronic Lyme. Um, there's groups, there's pages, they make fun of us, they call us liars, they say the scientific proof isn't out there um, to prove our facts as far as, the way we suffer. Uh, One of the reasons for that maybe is that there's not any funding for research for Lyme disease. We're put on the back shelf. Um, Testing and treatment guidelines are outdated by over 50 years. I got bit when I was 7. They tested me for Rocky Mountain spotted fever, but they didn't know what Lyme disease was, so they did not test me for that. It wasn't long after that I was getting sick. I was having cognitive issues, difficulties in school, and I ended up in special classes. I was very lethargic, wanted to sleep all the time. I had major skin issues, blisters that would come all over my face, big boils and rashes, and no doctor could ever figure out what was wrong with me. Um, in my teens, I started with dizziness and then a little later on came headaches and stuff and emotional problems. And then the first thing they diagnosed me with was bipolar and anxiety disorder. So I thought that I was always mental, and because no doctor could find anything. So through my 20s, I was, in and out of therapy and on different medications. And then when I hit my 30s, for about 10 years, 12 years actually, um, I was really sick. All kinds of different symptoms started coming in. I knew it wasn't panic, and I kept going to my doctor, and I was crying, and I was like, something's wrong with me. I'm dying. Please, this is not anxiety. I know what anxiety is. And he says, we've run every test in the world on you, and I don't know what else to do for you. You have major anxiety. So my mom decided to take me to a different doctor that she went to, and we told her my symptoms, how long it had been going on, yada yada yada, and she said, well, I think I might have an idea of what's going on with you. Let me run some tests. So she did, and she called me back in a week, and I go in, and she said, you have Lyme disease. And I was like, great, what is that? We can fix it, right? She said, it's very fixable, 14 days of antibiotics, of doxycycline, and you'll be all better. So I walked out of there whistling Dixie, um, thinking, oh my God, after all these years, they know what's wrong with me, and just 14 days of antibiotics. I've been on antibiotics before, which Lyme disease can go dormant, and trauma to the body, surgeries, things like that can bring it out of dormancy. Um, Emotional stress as well can. And so I wasn't better, but I did okay. This was in 2012. Um, I did okay for a couple of years. Was still getting around pretty good, working, doing, driving, things like that. And I just started progressively getting worse. So I found another doctor. It took me a year and a half to get in with him. I was retested, and I tested positive again. He was not allowed to treat me for the Lyme due to treatment guidelines, according to the CDC, because I had already had my 14 days of doxycycline in 2012. Um, he did try and give me immunoglobulin replacement therapy, and I had anaphylactic reactions to it. Um, because by this point, my body was already damaged. I have mast cell activation where I have to carry an EpiPen, but I don't have allergies, but I never know what I'm going to react to. It could be environmental, it could be food, it could be anything. I mean, I'll have anaphylactic reactions to it. It is now 2020. I'll be 48 November of 2020. I have probably about 15 different diagnoses, confirmed diagnoses of different issues in my body. No doctor can tell me why it's happening. My genes have started mutating. They cannot tell me why it's happening. I have polycythemia vera, which is a slow growing blood cancer, bone cancer, that where my bone marrow makes too many red blood cells, and also with APS syndrome, it's called thick blood or sticky blood syndrome. So I have to take medicine to keep my blood thin, aspirin, stuff like that, because I had a stroke already from it. Lyme has affected my neurological system, my heart, my endocrine system, multiskeletal, my muscles, my brain. I have lesions on my brain. There's a lot of things that are wrong with me, and no doctor can tell me what it is, but they will not say it's Lyme. I have had several doctors in the past tell me, but they don't put it on record. You have Lyme disease. There's nothing I can do for you. You just need to go home and ride it out. And that's not giving me anything for pain or anything. Then I've had other doctors tell me that there's no way that chronic Lyme exists. Then I have some that just say we just don't know enough about it. Then I've had some tell me, well, once you test positive, you always test positive. Which is very discouraging, because that's like telling somebody, well, you tested positive for a little bit of cancer, but it's nothing to worry about when you are living it every day and the pain is horrible. You never know what symptom you're going to have. Lyme disease is called the great imitator, and it can imitate over 300 diseases, and you can have over 60 symptoms of different diseases in one day. You never know what you're going to get whenever you wake up. I do not know I don't remember what it's like to feel normal. I get through my days the best that I can. I have lost most of my friends, and there for a little bit I lost a lot of my family because they don't want to hear it. They don't, to them it's negativity. If I say I'm not feeling good, I probably will lose some people over starting to do this on YouTube because they feel that it's negativity and that I am, what do you call it? I'm dwelling on my disease. I have a disease. I'm not a disease. It's kind of hard not to think about something when you are in pain every single day, or something that's going on with you every single day. You don't have to complain about it. I try to be as positive as I can. I try to encourage other people. I don't call anybody on the phone crying saying I'm hurting and this and that and the other thing. My family, I do try and keep up with them with what doctors say. My mom's been going to the doctor with me. For one, I can no longer drive due to falling down and my balance issues. So that way people can't say that I'm lying, but I have it all on paper anyway, all of my diagnoses, and some still don't believe, and that's fine. I've had people tell me if I talk about it anymore that they will no longer have anything to do with me, and that's just a chance I'm going to have to take. Everybody has a story. At first I stopped. I made the decision to stop. But everybody has a story, and this is my story. And this is the cross that I have to bear. This is the burden that I have to bear in this life. And I'm not asking for sympathy or anybody to feel sorry for me. I just want encouragement if I am feeling bad, and I call you on the phone, make me laugh. Let's laugh, let's talk, don't get on to me or put me down about what medicines I'm on, or because you feel like I'm in the house too much, or that I'm in the bed too much, because the worst thing you can tell somebody that's sick is if you get out of the bed, you'd feel better. If you get out of the house, you'd feel better. Um, because don't you think that when somebody's really, really sick and they have proof of this illness, that if they could do these things, they would? You know, I don't want to be a hermit in my house. I'm a people person. I want to get out and live life and enjoy life. I want to be there too. You know, I think that's the hardest part, is how other people stigmatize this disease and they ostracize you. Um, Doctors are horrible. It's a very lonely and painful disease, both emotionally and physically painful. Um, you know you're dying, you just don't know when. And so then you have to kind of decide what's worth it. Do you want to not speak your truth and not be who you are because other people don't care enough to want to know what's going on with you? Or do you want to hold it all inside and fake everything? And I'm going to be honest with you, I became a good liar. I became so good at faking. I have a therapist. Yes, I do. Because you have to work with acceptance. There's a lot with this disease. It's hard to accept, and that was one of my biggest things. Because I'm a college graduate. I'm not a dummy. Um, I had my own house, worked 2 jobs. You know, I lived life. I had a lot of friends, and then all of a sudden, boom. You know, and there's a lot of this that's hard to accept. And so, yes, I have a counselor. But anyway, my counselor suggested that I tell my story. So if it bothers anyone else, friends or family, that I'm telling my story, then just don't listen to the videos, or, you know, whatever. But if you choose to walk away from me because I am telling my truth, then that's your choice as well. And I can't continue to live my life by how you want me to live my life, if that makes any sense. And that's, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but I can no longer not tell my truth. I can no longer be hidden in the back room, you know, because I'm ill. Because, you know, you wouldn't do that to somebody dying with cancer. You know, you wouldn't do that with anyone else or with any other type of disease that I know of. But this is what Lyme patients get for some reason. And I know that on this channel, I'm gonna get a lot of people that don't believe. Like I said, they have groups and pages. They specifically hunt out Lyme patients just to put us down and tell us that we're crazy and liars. And I mean, they're very, very mean. They're vicious. So this is what I say to you before you make the comment. Comment all you want. If you get too vulgar, I will block you. But you're not going to get to me, because you don't have to live what I live. Some of you that are being hateful to people have had Lyme before. You had your 14 days of doxy and you were healed, and so you think that what chronic Lyme is a joke. But be thankful they caught yours in time. You know, be thankful you didn't get bit at 7 years old and now here you are 48 and your body's falling apart. When you tell other people that science doesn't back our claims, remember the fact that there's not enough research being done. The government has not stepped up to help us. Neither have our peers. You know, we try to get marches going. We try to do all kinds of things to get the word out there about Lyme disease, and nobody wants to hear it. So, I'm not going to let naysayers bother me. I'm pretty much doing this because it's going to help me to be able to tell my story, because I don't have a lot of people to talk to other than Lyme patients. And plus, too, there might be somebody that runs across this that has a family member newly diagnosed and they're searching information, or newly diagnosed and they're wondering what is exactly going to happen to me. People that said that I get emails all the time, I got bit by a tick last year and I just ain't felt right since. And, all I can tell you is buckle up, and pray to God that if you do get some treatment, that it will help you. But you're gonna get you're gonna go through a lot, especially with people. People can be the worst part of this sometimes. Um, there's a lot of crime. There's a lot. You're gonna have to start working on acceptance almost immediately, as things start going downhill with you. Like, with me not being able to drive anymore and not being able to be in the heat because I have POTS. It's orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. This right here is actually, I have a loop recorder in my chest to monitor AFib. I have had a stroke from the APS. It's just a lot of stuff. You will start noticing more and more and more things happening to you, and the doctors will pass it off as fibromyalgia, depression, anxiety, MS, lupus. There's just a whole spectrum of array of diseases that the doctors will try and pass it off as, or they'll just keep running test after test after test on all these different diseases, and they come back negative, but you have the symptoms of them, but they won't test you for Lyme even though that you've told them you've been bit. I've been rebit just a couple years ago, and I went to my doctor. I had the bullseye rash right here, and she said, oh, the bullseye rash doesn't mean anything. We're not going to retest you. We're not going to give you antibiotics. And I told her, I said, I know what that means, and I truly hope that a child doesn't come in here and you turn them away. Because it's hard on children. I hate to see children suffering. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and tell my truth. I'm going to start telling my stories. Sometimes I will be doing the videos from laying down in the bed because I'm, woozy or can't see or just don't feel good. You might see me on here during the middle of an attack with my muscle spasms or my with my neurological system overstimulates, and I go into my jerking spells. Lights, music, or lights, sounds, noise, whatever, smells, all kinds of stuff gets to me. My body can't handle it anymore. It's kind of like it's sensory overload is what it's called. So sometimes I might come on and you'll hear music in the background, and other times it'll be totally quiet like it is now. So yeah, I just want to tell my story. That's all I want. I'm not trying to throw it in anybody's face. I'm not trying to ask for sympathy. I'm not trying to ask for anything. I'm just trying to tell my truth. And hopefully other people in the future will not be ostracized and stigmatized by friends and family the way that this generation of Lyme patients has. There's hundreds of thousands of us out here globally. A lot of people are homeless from it, and they're sick and they're alone because everybody's walked away from them. So this is my story. Welcome to my journey. You will be seeing a lot more from me. Alright, have a good day or evening now, and God bless.